Hey, hello, Judith. Hi, Levy. How you guys doing?
Hey, good morning, good
Hey,
afternoon.
Troy.
It's good, it's
Hey, Judith.
good.
Got
Good.
anything interesting going on
Life
Uh,
itself.
in life?
I have one thing I wanted to ask you previously. What do you think about having an age limit to certain technologies?
As in access to it or availability for it if you're under, say, 16 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
let's put it. Yeah. So like, don't allow AI, for
I
instance.
think that's actually a good thought. I don't know if I'm yet sold on how to enforce it, but it's a good thought. Going back to the basics, with our kids, seems like a logical thing to do.
Well, I read that there are certain countries and even in the US, some certain states that are saying that social media is not to be accessed by, I don't know,
That's a big one.
people under 13, 14, whatever it was. I don't remember what was the age for kids. So I think technologically it's possible.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
definitely think
I
it's
mean,
possible.
it's it's um it's always amazed me that we just throw all these social media and all these technologies to the kids, and then like expect no issues coming out. I mean, it's even hard on adults, and these are kids in their adolescence, and like, hey, if you are worried, just here's the bar, and help yourself. If you feeling down, that just take something from the bar. That's the same thing. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling down, you need some reassurance, put some bikini photos on the internet, and the people will clap you, and you will have a restored self of sense. So it's like it's the same thing. You could just hey, here's the cocktail bar. Help yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are, again, I read it somewhere, I don't know which generation it was talking about, but it said that there is a generation now who are really moving away from social media and all these, let's just chat and let's just text and not meet in person. So they are kind of putting the phone on the side and then go out and go back to like what we've been doing in the 80s, 90s, which is good. So people are realizing the downside of technology from that perspective.
Yeah, I think it's desensitizing. At some point, the oversaturation. You're no longer happy with it. That's a natural outcome I experience. Right, I really don't care so much for the technology today that was novel just a couple years ago.
Yep.
If you think about it, we all know that communication is like 10% of what you are saying, right? And the rest is all the your facial expression, the tone, everything. It carries more meaning than the words itself. And all this social media texting and whatever is just taking all that away, and then you left
Yeah.
with 10%. And now we are surprised that people don't know how to communicate with each other without face to face. Like they just don't
But
want to,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
because it's
easier. It's
confusing.
probably easier from that perspective. Again, the newer generations, right? Our kids, it's easier for them because that's how they grew up. They don't know how
But
to be
they're
social.
more confused than any generation if you
yeah,
think about it.
Yeah,
And why?
especially if they need to meet face to face. I agree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So yeah.
agree with that completely. No, it's a great point. Great question, and it kind of relates a little bit to us, and AI in our fields and what we do for work. I just recently saw a great short video on what tech jobs look like over the next year and what jobs might be eliminated. And it's kind of an interesting thought. Don't know that I buy in yet that tech jobs are at risk per se. I see everything as it's going to change. Your job's going to evolve. It's going to change. It's going to be different. So what you do today, say you're a junior entry level person handling tickets, L1, L2 tickets, problem help desk associate, whatever the role is, that probably isn't going to be around for much longer, and it's not going to be gone in the context of the need will still be there, but the technology will take over and handle a lot of that repetitive, no human required stuff like a password reset. You don't need to speak to somebody for
Yeah.
that anymore. That kind of stuff. So how does your job change? What does it evolve to? what I saw was a short video on seven jobs that won't be here in 2027. I think that's a little bit aggressive timeline, and I do think changes are coming to the 7 jobs that highlighted, but I don't think that they're going to be eliminated. It's kind of like a time for a huge human reality check, if you will. These everyday roles will be reshaped by AI, is what I'm saying. It changes how people grow, what people do, and how we hire and how we lead. That's what I see happening. I don't see necessarily an elimination of the human element yet, but a change in how work gets done. What are you guys seeing?
I think you're right, but if you're talking about the level one, like a help desk situation where we have a lot of people now, AI is gonna obviously take some of that over to a certain degree, right? I agree with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's still gonna be need for the human behind. So let's say instead of a 50 resource service desk, probably is just going to go down to 10 because I don't know, just throwing out the numbers, it's going to decrease because as we are seeing now, and I'm sure both of you had it with service providers, right? You text with them or chat with them, you know that it's a chatbot or AI, but at some point, they are not going to be able to help you. Troy, we talked about it. I think it was in summer where you and I had
Yeah.
the same experience. And I was spending like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes trying to make the chat understand what I'm trying to get to. Work to a certain degree again. But at the end of the day, I still needed to hit the button that I want to talk to an agent. And then I needed to make the calls. Was it efficient? Because I spent 15 minutes trying something that at the end of the day turned out that it needed a human for, or I probably just should have called them in the first place. So but again, certain that 15 minutes they saved on their side from the
Yeah.
resource perspective, right? But
Yeah.
again, that's what I'm saying. Instead of a 50, probably it's going to be a 20 or 10 human and being behind the phone. So that's going to
Right.
be an efficiency on their side, but it's still going to be needed.
Yeah, and
But
even that efficiency on their side, I don't know if they're measuring the ROI on it or not.
I don't
Because
know.
remember, when you're using AI, there's an expense.
Yep.
So if the AI or the ISP slash assistant goes an hour into a discussion with a customer trying to resolve a simple issue that could have been handled easily with a human, is your cost better? It's interesting. I know the outcome's not better for the customer.
For
I
the
know I've been
customer.
very irritated by the it's almost like having a paywall to get to an associate. You can't
yeah,
get to the human contact, and it gets very frustrating. It makes you look at, hey, maybe I need to find a different provider for what I need. So it's
but if you
interesting.
Yep.
can, but sometimes all these tech companies, sometimes they are in a monopol position, so they
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
that's
I'm
don't
true.
really
stuck with
care
them.
about your time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuck with them, so I would change, but I cannot change because in the apartment complex, that's what's working.
Yeah, I think it's just we always go back to that place that AI won't replace humans. AI will replace. I mean, humans with AI will replace the humans without the AI. So I think that's
Yeah,
that's the key
It's
element
great
here.
way to put it.
yeah. That's the mantra: is get better at understanding and adapting to the new technology, be
Yeah.
AI proficient, and move forward. Don't expect the job you have at an entry level to still be there. Grow and move on from it. The challenge it also presents, though, is if you have a new collection of resources coming out of school, for example, just graduating from college, and they have no work experience, what's the pathway in? How do they get in to a technology role? Because now you're hiring or you're suggesting that you have to have X number of years experience, hands-on experience, or even the goal of obtaining certification used to be top of mind for folks. Now you really actually have to have a portfolio behind your understanding, demonstrate you know what you're professing to know, what you've been certified in. How do you provide that pathway in if you've eliminated all your entry level positions? What does it look like for the future workforce?
And if you don't have those people coming in or getting hired now, where the mediors and the seniors will come in 10.
Right. Yeah, and how do you replace those current mid-level, senior level engineers, administrators, whatever you've got? How do you replace them if you've got no pipeline?
Yeah.
Yep.
But those people who think about the next half year, the shareholders meetings and stuff like that, they don't really care about the long term.
Do you think that's because of the misconception of the capabilities that you have with AI? Keeping in mind, most people's
For sure.
understanding of AI is still chatbot. You can ask each of the AI chatbots, are you AI or are you a chatbot or are you agentic agent? Are you agent based? And almost all of them will tell you, I'm more close to agentic today. I think ChatGPT, I did this experiment about a month ago. I think ChatGPT was the only one that was really honest. It said, I'm really a chatbot, but I am able to leverage agentic AI as well. So I've got agents helping me, essentially, is what the chatbot was saying.
Mm-hmm.
If your understanding of AI is simply around generative AI, are you doing harm or service to your organization by making these changes that eliminate a skilled person?
It feels to me that most of the people think who aren't using AI, they think that it's just they are not capable of using it to its full potential, and if they would know, it would be an do-it-all, God mode tool.
Right.
And in the hands of the engineers, it's a God mode tool. So they will do everything with AI, and then we can forget about the 10 engineer team. Two will do, and then by the because they just don't understand that it's not like that. It's not
Yeah.
omnipotent. It works from previously generated data.
Right. So they're not understanding, right? If it was a true agent, it would accept from you a goal. What are you trying to achieve, rather than a prompt telling it what to do? And it would be able to. And this is just a high-level summary of agentic AI. It would just independently be able to go and create tasks, execute tasks, take actions without your constant input, without you telling it do this, do that, define here, and it would persist over time. Even with generative AI, you can get so far into a discussion with a chatbot that it now forgets where you started and you start to have problems. It's not a threat. It's not like talking to another person. It starts to break down. And so if you're making decisions based off of a technology that is not actually agent based, if you will, man, are you creating value, or are you eliminating intellectual capital by cutting the people that were doing everything for you before?
Yeah, you're doing a disservice to your future company.
I agree.
That's
So
a very nice note that we can stop here. Everyone is going to the
we're
graveyard,
done.
and that's it.
We're
We're done.
done. We're done for
Go for
dumb
today.
people making bad decisions, and we're done.
Oh, haven't we seen that before?
Yeah, a
Many
couple of
times.
examples. Another topic. Have you heard about the recursive language model?
I
I
didn't.
just read about it. It's a new thing in 2026 that they started in one of the universities. I won't recall that now, but it's working in a recursive way, and it just came into my mind that it's like programming. Before the object-oriented programming, there was the sequential
Hmm.
programming that every row will be executed after the other. Maybe there was a go-to, and then you can start from different place, but it was all in one batch, all the code, and then came the object oriented, and then you could just call things from different pieces of code from a different library, and then you can use it recursively. And then now it seems like that's a new thing as well coming in, that it will do the analyzation of the or analyzing of your prompt, or the results of your prompt. It will be reanalyzed again and again until it's convinced that it is analyze it to the smallest bits. So I think it will be interesting to see how it is working out. But the question is how much power it's using, how much resources it will be using if it's
Right.
doing it on and on and on again.
Yeah, that's the big question for me. And I think I've seen like some pullback, Oracle being a good example, Oracle and OpenAI kind of backing off due to the data center plan in Texas. I think they're still doing the data center, but maybe at a lesser scale, because the volume of money flowing in with no money coming back, it's critical mass at some point, right? You
Yep.
can't just keep pumping money into something and not getting a return on it. So yeah, that's the interesting challenge here is where does this all go? How do you get more efficient? And that's takes us to a totally different subject, I guess. If flip over to quantum computing at some point. Where does quantum computing fit into this going forward? What is its natural role to be played? But these are all questions I'm just kind of watching the headlines going, this is really baffling. I can't quite figure it out. You know what is? I'd love to be able to predict 2027. And this video is trying to predict 2027, but it's actually trying to sell a service of training as well. So there's a reason for his video. I like the video. There's a reason behind it. And it's for him to get people interested in being concerned about their careers and how do I change and adapt to be ready for the next year. I'd like to know how business operates with the high costs of cloud computing and the AI elements of it in the future. Where does this all lead? Where does it go? Because they got to make some money back somewhere. And right now, I just don't know where they're going to make that money.
Well, haven't we read it so many times that people are, on one hand, when it comes to hiring, remember, I think we mentioned it last week or the week before, many organizations are doing layoffs quoting AI. And then whoever started it a while ago, they realize that it's just not working. So I don't know, X percentage of the people that they already laid off because of AI, they are hiring back. Right. So at some point, my question is, and that's what I'm seeing and reading on all these social media, more and more people are asking the question when the AI bubble is going to explode.
Right. It does feel a lot like .com, the early
Yeah.
2000s. It feels a lot like it. So
Yep. And at some point, it's going to be part of our day-to-day life, and not just work perspective, but everything else as well. I'm sure all of us are using it. Just like my daughter, for example, every now and then she wants to bake something or cook something. She doesn't know what, she just knows what she wants to eat, and then put it in ChatGPT, and it gives her some options. Right?
See,
it's every day.
Those are use cases. I see value for the consumer of the technology. The provider of the technology, though, what is their value gain? Where do they? What's their value stream? Where are they going to get out of? What are they going to get out of it? That's the interesting part.
If they can set it up right, and again, that's a question, right? What is right and what is correct? But if they set it up right, then yeah, I can imagine it kind of sort of eliminate the level 1, level 2 roles, more like the level 1. Again, like I said it before, to a certain degree, and that's where the ROI is going to come in. But the low-level resources are the lowest cost as well.
Yeah.
Running AI and everything else behind that, it's costly. So
exactly. And so you have to find that balance. And Judah, this goes back to our 5 years ago, trying to flatten the organization from a senior position. We wanted all these junior people. But from a delivery perspective, we said we're introducing automation. We see greater value in more skilled labor. So let's reduce that pyramid shape from the flattened bottom wide to more of a diamond, like a diamond in a ring shape. And let's put the weight of what has to happen on the shoulders of middle and the senior tiers and reduce the number of people at the mundane entry level tasks and operations.
Yep. And remember what we wanted to do there. What we wanted to do there is just to introduce automation, right? Not even talking about AI, just introducing automation and scripting in a way that it eliminates the issues that are being raised by the customers, being proactive, being preventive, and all that self-healing situation. We could have gotten there, and we did a lot of good things. It's just somebody up there didn't want it.
No, they wanted to keep the model as it was, the model that worked well 25 years ago. And you touched on something that was essential to that, in that we were using or leveraging like RPA, trying to leverage the tools that took the mundane out of it. But the goal was to become predictive. To provide analytics that showed us where problems were going to occur. Some of the technologies that we did rely on heavily, and it wasn't across the organization entirely, but like in EMEA, for example, Datadog rose to the top fairly quickly. Good choice, solid choice, because it covered or ticked a lot of boxes. But Levy, did you get exposure to using Datadog directly,
Datadog,
or
yeah.
okay? So it wasn't something that transcended through the whole organization. So we had trouble adopting new technology at the same time, and so uniformly, the pressures kind of kept us locked into that pyramid where too many people at the very lowest level.
Even if
It
you
was a
have the right technology, Troy, if there is no proper mindset from a leadership perspective, and not just the leadership, but the people who are using the
especially the
tool,
people
like
using
you
it.
mentioned Datadog, going back to RPA, the situation that we had to go through, right? The
Yeah.
business analyst came to us and telling us that, hey, tell us what you do step by step, and then we're going to
Hmm.
automate, because everything you can document, you can automate. Yeah, true. But that's not what we need to do or should have done in the first place from a process perspective. And it's not going to give me the outcome if you're just automating it. I mean, I
Right.
understand it saves half an hour, but if the output is not what I need, and I need my agent to go there and do the necessary tricks to get me
Yeah.
the outcome.
Yeah. So you saved an hour or half an hour in one bucket, but you
Yeah.
increased an hour in another. It's yeah, that's the struggle, and I think it's the same struggle we're talking about with the changes for AI.
Yep.
If you're in a level 1, level 2 job today, you've really got to be looking at what is this future role going to be, and where do I fit? What do I need to do to change to be ready for the next 5 years of technology change?
Yep. Goes back to mindset again.
You see, you can select people. Okay, let's say people coming out from the university, and you want to hire only mediocre people. Maybe you put together an assessment center or whatever it's called, where you gather a lot of people, applicants, and then you have a 1-2 day event where you give them some tasks or exercises, and then you will try to evaluate their capabilities or future, or try to predict their future capabilities based on that. And then you can hire them and then give them something more complicated than a junior task to begin with, and then
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to start from the place where AI replaced all the positions. So you can do that, but then I think the problem is that the basic level is missing. So then whatever it builds on, it will build on a foundation full with holes. So I think that's another problem, and that's why what I see a lot of people who are coming out from universities, they are hired immediately into a junior position in a level 3 or even higher tier group, but they don't have a grasp on what is actually being done with the code that they are developing. And that's where the DevOps came in handy, right, Judith,
Yep.
when we talked about it, that okay, it's good that you know how to program the code that you supposed to do, but you don't know what you're supposed to do, because when they give you what you need to do, they don't know what they will produce at the end. So those who give you the requirements, they don't know what is going to be used for, on the daily basis. And the
Yep.
coder, they just don't know what is going to be used either, because they are not at that level. So in the sandbox, they do it differently. And then at the end, in production, it will all fall apart, or you will have to constantly patch it up. And it's just a constant effort.
Yeah, you touched a good point there with the DevOps, and that's how we tried to solve the problem, right? Back in the days in previous company together.
Yeah.
And it worked till the point where the lower level resources got exposure to the higher level technology type of people, but it didn't work the other way around. And it goes
Mhm.
back to what you said, Troy, that they don't want to do, developers will never want to do operation type of work, even if that's the path forward,
Yeah,
right?
this
So
senior
how do
level
you
going
cross
down
that?
to junior level's hard.
Yeah. So how do you cross that bridge
Yeah.
is the
But
question.
Yeah.
but it's not this, because it's level 1 a senior person on level 1 is not a junior on level 3. So it's not
No.
interchangeable like that way. So I would say it would be more efficient if there would be like a consultant role, to a developer team, a senior person from L1, L2 is assigned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you do some planning, they will have a say, or you will run by them. We are planning to do this. What do you think about it? And then they can raise their concerns that, oh, that's nice, that's very nice, but the users will push that button for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a button, they're gonna push it.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
there's a sign on it, don't push the button, they will definitely push the button. So
repeatedly. So that
yeah.
actually made me think back about one of my favorite tools to use to shift that mindset and to help develop more of a team cohesiveness was when we look at the effects of a hackathon. Give them a
Oh
problem
yeah.
statement and the tools to solve it, and put all levels in the room together to kind of work on the solution. You can go a couple hours, you can go a couple days, but the ideation comes out of that. It strengthens their interpersonal skills. It strengthens their technical skills, everything, and maybe you get a good solution too. Ideation in that form is what kind of leads you to the next big thing. And that's just one of many, but that's one of my favorite tools to use is create a
Yeah.
hackathon.
We
Good
had
stuff.
that as well. We called that build-a-thon. Remember, Levy, when we were
Yeah.
traveling around and pulling 100 people together in off-site locations, along with some customers, and
Yeah,
then
that
just
was great.
start to talk about it and build it up together as a collaborative effort from all levels and all aspects, and it worked out really well. I mean, when we went off for 2 weeks, we could
Yeah,
build a
that
lot
was
of things
great.
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get the buy-ins from all the people because you were face to face, something that you could have not done over the phone.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, but then if you are going to a minimal team effort, like or minimal team target, so let's fire everyone who's not necessary for the effort, then you won't have the resources to have these build-a-thons or hackathons,
Oh yeah.
because you just have to work, and you don't have time to take out some time and do something else, or or involve more people
I,
and discuss.
Spoken
I
like a
think we have
person
the
that experienced this.
I think we have the final word here. Let's fire everybody.
Yeah. What life experience gives us, right?
Absolutely. And how it
It's
changes
not
our
just
approach
gray
to
hair.
certain things.
It's not just gray hair. You're right. Great discussion. It looks like we're hitting about our target. Anything you guys want to close with?
Yeah. Let's keep hoping.
Stay positive,
Yeah,
right?
Because hope is a
hope dies
strategy,
last.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hope is
Right
not a
now, it
stretch.
appears to be.
That's what we
Must
have
be.
for
Yeah.
now.
All right. Well, great catching up, and hope you guys have a great week ahead.
Hope you
You
have a
too.
great week as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to
Bye-bye.
you then. Bye now.